más asustados de lo que ¿Qué día estuvo, weón? No había nada.
Con tranquilidad, por favor. Vamos a evacuar con tranquilidad. Tranquilos, por favor. Ya acabó.
The Pacific Ring of Fire did just strike again. A magnitude 6.1 earthquake shakes Lima in Peru. Tectonic pressure, is it rising off the coast of Peru? Did Peru just receive a warning shot from deep within the earth? That's the question. We know, I have made videos about this. Check my playlist. The Pacific Ring of Fire, where most of the Earth's volcanoes and large earthquakes happen and are located, is quite active, increasingly active at the moment. So in the morning, June 15th, 2025, millions of Peruvians were startled as the ground began to tremble. Again, a strong earthquake, initially measured at magnitude 6.1, struck just 23 kilometers southwest of Lima. That's the capital of Peru. It was later downgraded to 5.6, but the shaking was still significant. It was powerful enough to be felt by over 12 million people. Many living in Lima, in Calo, and the surrounding coastal districts reported shaking strong enough to rattle the shelves, crack windows, send chandeliers swinging. Some even described loud booms or vertical jolts, like a massive subterranean detonation. That's how people described it. And what has caused this earthquake? Well, could it be a precursor to something bigger? And why are the scientists paying so close attention to this one? So let's break this down, guys. There is a large tectonic engine beneath Peru. Peru lies along the most seismically active regions on the planet, the Peru-Chile Trench. That is part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. And this is also where the Nazca Plate is located. We're talking about that plate quite often because it's involved in earthquakes that I'm reporting about. It's an oceanic plate. It's slowly but relentlessly diving beneath the South American plate. And the process is called subduction, a subduction zone. This is what we have along this horseshoe-formed Pacific Ring of Fire. And this tectonic boundary, as it's called, is not just active, it's ferociously powerful. Over millions of years, it has been responsible for the uplift of the Andes Mountains, the formation of deep sea trenches, and some of the strongest earthquakes ever recorded. A seismologist at the University of Arizona, Dr. Susan Beck, has once explained, quote, "The subduction zone off the coast of Peru is essentially a massive energy storing machine. Tectonic strain builds silently over years or decades and is only released in violent bursts, in earthquakes." So what happened in Lima today was one of those bursts. So why did they downgrade it? It was initially reported as a 6.1, then it was revised to a 5.6 by the USGS. This is not uncommon as more data arrives from global seismic stations. Algorithms refine the model, sometimes changing the reported strength. What stayed constant, however, was the depth, around 53 kilometers. So this classifies the quake as intermediate depth, which usually causes less surface damage than a shallow quake of the same magnitude. But in densely populated urban zones like Lima, even moderate quakes can lead to panic and also structural stress. This is still a shallow quake. It's not a very, very deep lying quake. Everything roughly up to 75 kilometers is still considered shallow. According to the USGS, the earthquake was felt by up to almost 13 million people. 4 million experienced light shaking, according to reports. 7.2 million experienced moderate shaking. Some locations like Barranco, San Isidro, San Borja reported strong shaking. Fortunately, it seems there was no confirmed fatalities. There is some reports that something happened, but we have to wait a little longer to see how that turns out. But that doesn't mean that this earthquake wasn't without risk. You know, Lima, the capital, is home to more than 11 million people. That is huge, and many of them live in older, unreinforced masonry buildings that are at risk of collapse is there a stronger earthquakes. And of course, even today's earthquake is strong enough. It rattles the foundations of these homes. For example, we're talking about Campi Flegrei in Naples, the supervolcano there, that comes with earthquakes. These are also stone homes there where experts are saying they're only held together because they're leaning on each other. The grout between the bricks is basically dust. And they say a magnitude 5.1 could already collapse houses and cause hundreds of thousands of people lost. So the structures that we're dealing with here in Peru, they're especially vulnerable to lateral ground motion. And with every earthquake, they're more shaken, they're more rattled, they're getting more brittle until one day they might give in. So in past earthquakes, we have already seen that, unfortunately. In 2007, the Pisco quake buildings collapsed despite moderate magnitudes due to poor construction. So many will ask the question, was this quake a precursor for a larger earthquake? This is the question that's haunting many people who live there. Could it be a foreshock, a warning of a much larger event yet to come? Scientifically, it's possible, but it's not guaranteed. In fact, most earthquakes are not followed by larger ones. However, we have seen that some larger quakes, such as the 2010 Maule earthquake in Chile was a magnitude 8.8, and then even Japan's 2011 Tohoku earthquake, magnitude 9.0, were preceded by moderate foreshocks. Ecuador's Geophysical Institute says, Dr. Mario Ruiz, he says, a foreshock is only known in hindsight. That's the problem, yeah. If it was a precursor, we'd only know after the main shock arrives. That makes sense. And that could be hours, days, or even never. So far, no significant aftershocks have occurred, but the region remains under close monitoring. Many people describe this quake as it felt like rolling or rumbling across large areas in affected cities many miles away. Sudden vertical jolt-like explosions, deep rumbling noises, swaying buildings were reported. So also chandeliers were shattered through that motion. And of course, another contributing factor to this is the subsurface geology of Lima. The city is built on a mixture of soft sediment and reclaimed land, especially in coastal areas like Callao and Miraflores. These amplify seismic waves, making moderate quakes feel stronger than they actually are. How does this compare to previous historical earthquakes? This was the strongest earthquake that has hit Peru in this particular part in over 18 years. So since they had that devastating magnitude 8 Ica earthquake in 2007, which has caused hundreds of losses and caused widespread destruction, Peru's strongest quake overall that has been recorded so far occurred in 1940. It was a magnitude 8.2 that has also devastated parts of the Lima region. So statistically, the area here experiences about one quake every 1 to 2 years above magnitude 5 and a major quake above magnitude 7 roughly every 60 years. So while today's event wasn't catastrophic, it's a reminder that Peru definitely remains on tectonic edge. and always will. Thankfully, no tsunami was triggered by this earthquake. The epicenter was inland, and the magnitude was not high enough to displace ocean water significantly. So that is good. But landslides still remain a concern. Several eyewitnesses have reported dust clouds rising from the cliff along Lima's Pacific shoreline, likely caused by rockfall or surface cracking. Surface also is getting more unstable by these earthquakes. So far, no major slides have been confirmed, but the potential is real, especially during the rainy season when the soil is looser. And we see this in Europe. I mean, I'm reporting about this every day. Italy, rockslide mountain coming down, like 10, 14,000 feet mountain tops. And of course, Blatten in Switzerland and Norway. So this is a problem. In general, earthquakes like this highlight the fragility of modern megacities that are built on unstable ground. Several cities, even in North America along the Pacific Ring of Fire, are built on unstable ground. The basin where LA is built, for example, but also Vancouver, Canada. Many areas. Lima is a city with extremely high population density. So there's limited emergency access routes, and many older structures are not built to withstand serious shaking. And it's not just Lima, as I said, it's around the whole Pacific Ring of Fire, from Japan to Indonesia to the Pacific Northwest and the United States. So in a way, Peru's tectonic stress is a warning to all of us. It tells us that the Earth's great forces are always moving, slowly building towards moments of release. So for now, the seismic networks, including the USGS, the EMSC, and the GFZ, and Peru's own IGP, are monitoring the region very closely. If aftershocks or foreshocks develop, alerts will be issued immediately. But they definitely have to review their earthquake preparedness plans, check structural safety in homes and schools right now after the quake, and they have to stay informed via official channels. That's for everyone who lives in these areas. So guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, leave this video a like. If you want to support the channel, check out the links in the description of this video. You can buy me a coffee. I will answer with a video message, and you can video me back. And thanks for all my members, for all the supers here, and for all the coffees. You guys are awesome. Check out the videos in the end screen. A lot is going on, guys. It's never stops. The Earth is active 24/7. I hope you're doing great, having a nice spring and summer wherever you are. Winter in some areas. Stay safe. See you soon. Bye-bye.